These things don't just happen. Despite notionally handing command of the combined fleet to the Spartan Eurybiades due to the complex politics in which the Greeks specialise, Themistocles was not leaving it to chance. If Herodotus is to be believed, Themistocles sent a message to Xerxes saying he was on the king's side and prefers that your affairs prevail, not the Hellenes. Furthermore, the messenger told Xerxes that the Greek high command was fighting amongst itself. It was, but this is the usual state of affairs. And that if the Persians blocked the strait, the Greeks would probably surrender. Xerxes took the bait. He bought it hook, line and sinker. Looking at it from Xerxes' point of view, all his life people had been telling him they were on his side, and up until this point things had worked out pretty well for him. Also, the Greeks were always fighting amongst themselves, and it wasn't that long since the Battle of Lade, where the Persians had won after an entire wing of the Greek fleet had abandoned the battle. So the day of the battle dawns. Xerxes sets up his throne, we are told, on the summit of Mount Aigaleo. In a rarity for an ancient battle, this gives us a very good modern fix on the landscape. We know where the straits are, and we know where the mountain summit is. At over 10 kilometres from the straits, I wonder how much Xerxes could have actually seen. Apparently he thought the captains would compete to show off their heroic feats to him. One can only imagine that some huge signal flags were needed for him to be able to make out the positions. Having thrown away every advantage they had, the Persians crowded through the straits and into a meat grinder. The US Military Academy has produced a map of how they think the forces met in the strait. There are other guesses, but they're all just guesses. It must have been incredibly frustrating for the experienced mariners of the Persian fleet, particularly the Phoenicians and the Ionian Greeks, to be forced twice in a row, both at Artemisium and at Salamis, into the same awful frontal assaults against a fleet they could have mastered in any other sort of engagement. Xerxes' brother, Ariobaegus, was killed early in the battle. Artemisia, a female sea captain leading the Carian fleet, made a name for herself, firstly by telling Xerxes to his full face not to be such a fool before the battle,